Hi there, everybody, and welcome along to another episode of the Big Quiz Night In. This is episode 63, and I hope you're all doing well. We've got another great lineup this evening of interesting quiz rounds, and they're going to start off with comedy. That's our first round, and I'm doing that because I think it's a comic relief in the UK, a big charity event that's happening on Friday this week. So I thought we'd kick off with a comedy round and see how you guys get on with that one. I've also changed up my frames tonight. You see I've got everything down the side now. I'm playing around with a few different approaches and designs just to see what works, to change things up a bit, because it's been the same for quite a while now. So going through a lot of changes on the channel, slowly but surely working them all out. So we'll see how they all go. Thank you all for those of you who have joined nice and early. That's much appreciated. Hope you're all doing well. As always, get in the comments. Let's start that discussion. Let's have a chat before we begin officially at 8 o'clock. So if you are watching a repeat of this, if you don't want to stick around for all the waffle on until then, feel free to skip ahead about 10 minutes and then we'll be starting with that comedy round very soon. But whilst we're waiting for that, I do my usual thing. I like to share the link out there across some other places across Facebook land. So I would love it if you could do the same, or maybe consider tagging somebody in the comments and seeing if they want to join in. So yeah, I'm just going to do that now. Facebook seems to be behaving itself, so I am going to share the link out there now to everybody across these various other places that I like too. You'll also note down that left hand side of the screen I am giving a shout out again to my the TikTok channel, which has been going really well lately. Loads of content going up there and lots of good feedback, so very happy about that. I'm going to be talking about that a bit more later on. Loads of fun going on there. And what else have we been doing today? Preparing this quiz. We've got a pitch around at the end of the evening, which of course I'll share following the live show finishing. I haven't set it to automatically get posted this time, and I've done that because last time we finished very early. We finished at like 9 o'clock, and we normally go to about 9:30. So we'll see how this one goes, and then I'll post it afterwards. But it's the kind of pitch around you might be familiar with, posted many times before, and certainly regulars to the quiz that I host at the pub when the pubs are open are absolutely familiar with. Let's get into the comments then. Let's see who we got. Tad's here. He says, hi all. Welcome along, Tad. Jew says, hi Chris and all, good evening. We'll be a bit late, but we'll join just after 8. That's okay, no problem. We'll catch you up with whatever you miss, I'm sure. Your team will start off without you. Not that I help much. Andy's here. He says, good evening all. And he's saying hi to Tad as well. Yes, good evening to you, Andy. Thank you so much for all your amazing comments and engagement over on the Lima Little Quiz side of things. That is really appreciated, mate. And speaking of Lima, I have got stuff to talk about when it comes to that later on. And make sure we get a few more people on and we get into the actual quiz. And then I'll talk about that. Let's see where that's going in the future as we approach the end of my 5th season of Little Quiz. I do 50 episode chunks, one a day for 50 days. So we're coming up to the end of my 5th one. So yeah, we'll be talking more about that later on. Hello to Vernia, welcome along. Hope you're doing well. Glad you could all be here this evening. We've got no Diva this evening. Diva's a regular and a Patreon member, of course, as some of you will know. She sends her apologies. You may have seen if you're in our top fan Facebook group. She's passed on her apologies, but she hopes to be back next week, so that's good. So yeah, who's next? Who else have we got joining us this evening? Don't be shy. Say hello in the comments, and let's have a chat while we wait for the start of the quiz at 8 o'clock. I am having a cheeky few beers tonight. Got my Kronenberg in. Shameless plug, not that I'm sponsored by them or anything. But that's what I'm drinking this evening for another pub quiz from home. Won't be long until, if things keep going well, until I'm actually back at the pub properly. In theory, that will be the first Thursday of April after pubs are allowed to reopen, but not the Sundays. At the minute, we're just going to do Thursdays. And then we'll build up and hopefully things will continue to go back to some form of normality, and maybe we'll go back to doing Thursdays and Sundays, which will be at the King's Head and Bell, in case anybody's watching and didn't know. That's in Abingdon, Oxfordshire. Just keep an eye on those comments to see if anybody else wants to say hello before we start. And yeah, we've got 3 different rounds again tonight. Food and drink you've done before. Music trivia has a theme to it. I've just called it music trivia there. just so it fits in that box nicely, this new banner thing that I'm kind of working on and designing. So this isn't a finished design down this side. I may even put it on this side next time. I'm just giving you a bit of behind the scenes before we start. But I've called it Music Trivia. It's actually place names in songs. So the questions are all about songs and artists where there are place names involved. So we'll see how well you do. Jenny says Team Bath are in. We're joining it tonight, bro. My sister's here as well in the comments. That's cool. Hope you're doing well, Becky. Love to you and the family. Yeah, that's really cool. So, welcome along, everybody. Yeah, we normally start at 8 o'clock. So, if you're new watching this, as I've just been saying, 8 o'clock is when we start officially. And I normally get Abby, my daughter, to come in and ask a question to kick off the show. But she's a bit poorly. She's not doing so well. No, so she's gone to bed. An early night for her tonight. So, we won't be having Abby to start the show this evening. But she sends her love. And she's very sad that she can't join in, but she knows it's for the best, and she's gone off to bed. Tracy says, hi everybody, no Andy tonight, so I'm flying solo. Yikes. But Tracy, did you enjoy the music round I shared earlier on? Judging by your comments, I think you did, and I thought you would actually when I posted it. I got sent that today by Dave, who does the recordings of them. And he said to me in the email, you'll love this music round, have a listen. And as soon as it started, I was like, I know where this is going. And so I thought, instead of saving it for another day, I thought, no, I have to share it today. This has to be shared today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I do share music rounds as part of my little quiz that I share on the Limor app, Limor. But I also post those in the Top Fan Facebook group, which is for top fans of Big Quiz Night In. And I share it on my Twitter as well, at Big Quiz Night In. So you can find them in those places if you don't follow me on Limor itself. But yeah, I've been sharing not just audio recorded quizzes, I've been sharing music rounds. So you get 15 songs. You have to guess what the artist and title is, 1 point for each. And so, or clips of songs for the most part, and then you hear all of the last track. And that's something we normally do in the pub, but I've been getting them digitally, so I've been sharing them through there. Vernia says, oh no, hope she's feeling better soon. Yeah, I think it's the usual thing. She's just, you get back to school after any amount of time where you haven't been at school, and then the kids will start mingling again, and, you know, even though they're socially distant and in their bubbles, but as soon as one of them's got a bug or a cold of any description, it goes around and everybody comes down with it, and yeah, so she's just feeling really drowsy and, yeah, not with it, so bless her. She's off to bed early tonight. Tracy says, love the music round. Yes. And Luke's here. Good evening to you, Luke. Thank you very much for continuing to like and share and do all that good stuff. Much appreciated. Whenever you do any kind of content creation, every like and share and engagement matters. And, you know, it's when those start dropping that any kind of content creator, even one as small scale as what I'm doing, has to rethink about what they're doing. And that kind of ties into what's going to happen with Limor and my little quiz. But I will talk more about that a little bit later. Welcome to everybody else that's joining. We're 5 minutes away from the start of our first round, which will be a comedy round. It's all TV and films, but it will be comedy focused. That's because it is Red Nose Day coming up on Friday, Comic Relief. So I thought we'd do something a little bit connected to it in a way, and we'll see how it goes. Vernia says, we like the banner on the left. Yes, it is brand new, but I am going to change it up a little bit. This was just a rough draft of it because I'm really picky about things. So I thought I'd try it out, see if it worked. And if I liked it, then I'll make it even better next time. But I'm not going to point out why I don't like it, but you'll see why next time. But yeah, thank you for saying that you like it. I am just going to shift over to that side, I think, next time. But anyway, that's something else. Yeah, I thought I'd do something a bit different because, like I said, it's been the same for quite a while now with all four corners covered in their own ways. And I change it a little bit, but I think I prefer the whole sidebar thing. And I've seen a lot of other shows that do something similar to that. So I'm going to try and make it work as best I can with Facebook Frames, which is not the best tool, but I do what I can with the technology at my disposal. Tracy says, Sweet Child of Mine is my favourite song ever, so got off to a good start. As soon as I heard, those notes kick in, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good round. Yeah, and it was great. Love the guitar quiz. Oh, Luke, you listened to it as well. That's great. Yeah, it's all out there. I'll put the answers on there as always tonight before I go to bed. I normally post them just before I go up. I've got into quite a routine of it now. What I do is, again, 3 minutes to go before we start the first round. So I will record between 1 and 3 TikTok quiz videos, post one before I go to bed, and then I'll also record the answers for Lima and post the answers for Lima. Then I go to bed, and then I've got other two more videos that I could post during the day, and that's kind of like my routine to spread out my content. And it seems to be picking up and working quite nicely, at least on the TikTok side of things. But yeah, it's good that I can share the little quiz over on Lima, because I missed doing those on this show. But Facebook is so strict with music being played, as some of you remember. It was such a pain. I can't believe the hassle I went through to share them on this show before. But Lima gives me the opportunity to share that in a really easy way, so it's cool. Okay. 2 minutes to go now. The reason I start at 8 o'clock is just so I've given enough time for people to join in. They know that the video's live, they can get themselves ready. Starts at 8 o'clock. So we'll just see who else is going to be joining, and then we'll kick off with that first round. Anybody else want to say hello in the comments? I got a lovely comment on one of my videos over on TikTok yesterday from some people who I don't think have made themselves known in the comments before. And they just left me this really nice comment saying they're big fans of what I do on Facebook, and love the fact I'm now doing this on TikTok and like the format and all that stuff. And it was just like, oh, I didn't think I had any crossover between followers on either of them, bar maybe 1 or 2 people who I know a bit better. And so that was really nice. So yeah, big shout out to Jane and her dad if you are indeed watching. Let me know. Because I do like to hear from people, and a lot of the reasons I love doing these live shows is because we like to have a chat in the comments. You know, we like to do that. Okay, 1 more minute to go. Comedy is round number 1. I'm just going to get that ready for you now. TV and films, and a comedy kind of connection to it all, and or comic relief in general. Nicholas says, good evening all. Let's Get Quizzical are here. Hope you're all well. Yes, doing good. I'm looking forward to recording your little quiz request as well soon, Nicola. Thanks for that. I did post about it in the Patreon group for those who haven't seen it yet, and got some good requests in. So I will have time for all of them that I've got in so far, with the remaining episodes of Little Quiz. 43 was posted today, so Tuesday next week will be the last one of the series. Alright, I'm calling it. Let's make a start, shall we? So, as always with these quizzes, and good evening to Silla May, welcome along. Glad you could join us again, hope you're doing well. Alright, so the first round then is a comedy, TV and films round, / Red Nose Day comic relief round. So I hope you enjoy this one. As always, do not put your answers in the comments. Please do keep them to yourselves, write them down yourself. At the end of the round, you can ask me, or towards the end of the round, you can ask me to repeat any questions, and I'll do as many of those as I can for you, and that'll give everybody a bit more thinking time. Okay, and as we go through them, I will, gladly do that for you. Just let me know if you need a repeat, but I will save them to the end. Good evening to Dave as well. Thanks for joining. Hope you guys are doing well. And when we do the repeats and that's all done, I'll go through the answers. I'll tell you all the answers. You mark your own quiz rounds and let me know if you want to in the comments how many points you scored, because it is just for fun. So we'll celebrate with those who do well and we'll commiserate with those who don't quite do so well, but it is just for fun. So don't worry, let's just have a laugh with it all. Good evening to Amanda. As you can probably tell, you are just in time. Hope you and Ed are doing good as well. And Nicholas says, bullied Martin into letting me choose one because he always goes for weird ones. Martin does have a tendency of picking really obscure random subjects. But as I say, if you're a Patreon and you're willing to invest in what I do, then I don't care what subject you want a little quiz on. I will create one for you if that's what you want. And it's fine. But I'm going to talk more about that after this first round in particular. All right, here we go. Question number 1. I've waffled on enough. Junior's back just in time. Well done, Ju. Which comedy duo was famous for saying, it's good night from me and it's good night from him? Which comedy duo was famous for saying, it's good night from me and it's good night from him? Nicholas says it's because Martin thinks he's funny. I mean, in fairness, having been on some of the Patreon quizzes, obviously hosting them, when he's there with yourself, I'm not going to inflate his ego or anything, but he has his moments. He's quite a funny guy. I'll give him that. And I know he's taking the mickey when he asks for these random subjects, but it pushes my quiz writing abilities by asking for obscure ones. It's just that nobody will listen to them but him. That's the downside of it. Yeah, but I don't mind too much. It's a Patreon request. It's what I agree to. It's what you sign up for. It's no problem. Question 2. What animal is Jim Carrey searching for in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? Which animal is Jim Carrey searching for in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? Yes, Vernia, she was just in time. Did that well. Haven't seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective in ages. I remember I always preferred When Nature Calls, the second one. I don't know why, but I always did. But yeah, he's so funny. All right, question number 3. Rory Bremner, Chris Barry, Steve Coogan, Hugh Dennis, and Harry Enfield all originally took part in which long-running ITV comedy show? Rory Bremner, Chris Barry, Steve Coogan, Hugh Dennis, and Harry Enfield all originally took part in which long-running ITV comedy show? All of them in the same show. What was it? Another reason you might want to ask for repeats before the end of the round is because sometimes you might find I go through the questions maybe a little bit too quick for some, or maybe too slow for others. So, but obviously I'm just here alone in this room and I'm not with you guys. So it's difficult sometimes to gauge the speed of questions I should be asking you. I think I've got a pretty good rhythm of it now though. That's why I give you the chance for repeats. Okay, question number 4. In Dad's Army, what did Captain Mannering frequently call Private Pike? He probably called him a lot of things, but he's most famously known for calling him a particular thing. In Dad's Army, for question 4, what did Captain Mannering frequently call Private Pike? A speedy nurse, Ju says. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm glad you could join us as quickly as you did. All right, your next question. Question 5. Roy, Moss and Jen are central characters in which Channel 4 Emmy Award-winning British sitcom? Roy, Moss and Jen are central characters in which Channel 4 Emmy Award-winning British sitcom? All of them part of the same show, or were part of the same show, so name it for 1 point. Question number 6 now. Question 6. In the TV show QI, what does QI stand for? This is a 1 point question, okay? In the TV show QI, what does QI actually stand for? Let's see how you do with that one. Question number 7 now. Question number 7. Which movie duo coined the phrase, "be excellent to each other"? Which movie duo coined the phrase, "be excellent to each other"? I'm pretty sure if you get one of them, you're going to get the other, but I will give you 2 points for this one. 1 point for each correct name, preferably the full names, please. And I'll give you another clue. They recently released another movie in their franchise. Recently. I haven't actually seen it yet. I've heard good things about it. If you like the first movies, I'll leave it at that. Which movie duo coined the phrase, "be excellent to each other"? Okay, question number 8. As comic relief is typically on the BBC, which of the following was a common nickname for the BBC? Was it father, auntie, or uncle? Which of the following was a common nickname for the BBC? Was it father, auntie, or uncle? Yeah, Tracy says still hasn't watched the latest film yet. I will kind of want to go back and watch the others, or re-watch the others, because it's been so long since I've seen them. And then I'll watch the new one, you know? That's how I feel about it. I need to work out how I'm best to watch them. They must be on a streaming service somewhere. I just haven't actually looked to check. But I do want to see it. Question number 9 now. Question 9. Which 4 actors have played Inspector Clouseau on film? Which 4 actors have played Inspector Clouseau on film? And you get 1 point for each. Amanda's not sure whether she wants to watch the new one. Honestly, I have heard good things about it. I have. So, I don't know. It piques my interest. So I will take the risk and watch it. I'm sure it can't be that bad. I mean, if you like the original ones, then, you know, surely it's not going to be that bad. You would hope. So yeah, 4 points for that last one. The 4 actors who have played Inspector Clouseau on film. Question number 10. Oh, Amanda says really loved the old ones, so it's a risk. Yeah, I know. There is that. There is, I suppose. There's definitely some examples of older franchises having new films made or rebooted films made and just ruining it. Plenty of them out there. But by all accounts, it seems that this one, or at least the ones that matter, seems that this one's okay. We shall see. Question 10. What is the name of the very first Carry On film in the series? I will give you multiple choice, okay? Was it Carry On Nurse, Carry On Teacher, or Carry On Sergeant? I thought I'd give you multiple choice for that one because there are 29 films in the Carry On franchise, I guess you could call it. 29 of them. So, yeah, I'll give you multiple choice. What's the name of the very first Carry On film? Was it Carry On Nurse, Carry On Teacher, or Carry On Sergeant? Question 11 now. Question 11. In Who Framed Roger Rabbit, who voiced Jessica Rabbit? In Who Framed Roger Rabbit, who voiced Jessica Rabbit? Right, question 12 is going to be multiple choice again. Which American sitcom had the most watched series finale between MASH, Cheers, and Seinfeld? Which American sitcom had the most watched series finale, when they originally aired, of course, between MASH, Cheers, and Seinfeld? Oh, excuse me. All right. Question 13 now. 15 questions per round, by the way, in case you're wondering and you're new to this. Question 13. How many Oscars has the Tom and Jerry cartoons won to date? How many Oscars has the cartoon Tom and Jerry won to date? Obviously, they haven't won many recently, or for a while for that matter, but how many have they won? I can tell you they won their first in 1943, so we're talking quite a long span of time. But how many did they win in total? you can give yourself 2 points if you get it exactly right. Okay? Two more questions left then in this round. Question 14. Which producer created Room 101, Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Mock the Week? You see his name in the credits as the shows finish, and I think in the intros of some of them as well. So he's quite a well-known producer. But which producer created Room 101, Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Mock the Week? And if you don't know this one, the next time you watch one of those shows, you'll notice it straight away and then you will remember it. Okay? So which producer created Room 101, Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Mock the Week? Let me know if you want any repeats at this time. I'm going to ask the final question now. And to allow you thinking time for that, let me know any repeats you'd like as well, and I'll give everybody a bit of thinking time as well. So question 15, name all 6 original members of the Monty Python team. 1 point for each. Name all 6 original members of the Monty Python team. 1 point for each. Good luck with that one. Let me know what repeats you'd like in the comments. Okay, straight in with 2 and 3. Okay, so Becky's asked for number 3. Okay, so this is a 1 point question. Rory Bremner, Chris Barry, Steve Coogan, Hugh Dennis, and Harry Enfield all originally took part in which long-running ITV comedy show? Question 2 for Nicola and Martin was, what animal is Jim Carrey searching for in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? Maddie's here as well. Hi to Maddie. She's asked for 2 and 7, and Amanda wants question 14. Okay, so I've just done number 2. I'll do 14, and then I'll go down to 7. Okay, so question 14 again was, which producer created Room 101, Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Mock the Week? One producer created all 3 of those shows. Number 7 then was, which movie duo coined the phrase, be excellent to each other? Words to live by, right? I think so. Okay. See if any more requests for repeats come in. Do let me know. What I'm going to do now is just share with you what's in the description. As always, if you want to follow me on places like that, or indeed like there or there, support me in any way whatsoever, apart from following this Facebook page that you're watching this video on. The link is in the description and it's now in the comments as well. That will take you to everything that I do for Big Quiz Night In as Big Quiz Night In. So give that link a click in your own time or on another device so you don't go away from the video, and give us a follow if you use any other social media platforms anywhere. So yeah, it's all there. And if you want to support me for what I do, that's there too. Patreon or buy me a coffee. And something else in a minute as well I will talk about. No more question repeats have come in, so I might go through the answers. Famous last words though, because normally when I say that, somebody else asks for a repeat. So we'll just give it a moment, but I think that's going to be it. So 1 point for each correct answer then, unless otherwise stated. I'll blitz through these answers and then we'll see how well you did. And then I'm going to tell you about a little quiz. Okay, so question number 1. Which comedy duo was famous for saying, it's good night from me and it's good night from him? It is the Two Ronnies. It's just a 1 point question though, right? Question 2. What animal is Jim Carrey searching for in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? It is a dolphin. Question 3. Rory Bremner, Chris Barry, Steve Coogan, Hugh Dennis and Harry Enfield all originally took part in which long-running ITV comedy show, which has recently made some kind of return to our screens if you've got the right channel to watch it? Spitting Image. They were all voices on Spitting Image. I imagine some of them maybe even were puppeteers of it. I don't know, but they were all involved. What a lineup that is. I'm not a massive Steve Coogan fan, but all of them on one show. You can see why it was so popular for so long. Question 4. In Dad's Army, what did Captain Mainwaring frequently call Private Pike? He said, "You stupid boy, Pike," is the phrase. Stupid boy. Question 5. Roy, Moss and Jen are central characters in which Channel 4 Emmy award-winning British sitcom? It is the IT Crowd, which is brilliant, by the way. The IT Crowd. Question number 6 now. In the TV show QI, what does QI actually stand for? Quite interesting. For 1 point. Question 7. Which movie duo coined the phrase "be excellent to each other"? It was Bill S. Preston and Ted Theodore Logan, aka Bill and Ted. You can give yourself 2 points if you got that right. Question 8. Which of the following was a common nickname for the BBC? Was it father, auntie or uncle? It was referred to as auntie due to the BBC's Auntie Knows Best attitude. There you go. Question 9. Which 4 actors have played Inspector Clouseau on film? 1 point for each again. We have, Jenny says, Bill S. Preston, Esquire. Quite right. So the 4 actors who played Inspector Clouseau on film are Peter Sellers, Alan Arkin, Roger Moore, and Steve Martin. Of course, if you've watched any Pink Panther stuff, you'll be familiar with Inspector Clouseau. And if you weren't, that's where he comes from. Well, that's where you might know him from. Question 10. What is the name of the very first Carry On film in the series? Was it Carry On Nurse, Teacher or Sergeant? It's Carry On Sergeant. Okay, question number 11. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Who voiced Jessica Rabbit? It was an actress known as Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner. Question 12. Which American sitcom had the most watched series finale between MASH, Cheers and Seinfeld? It was MASH with 105.9 million people compared to Cheers at 80.4 million and Seinfeld at 76.3 million. MASH was brilliant. I loved getting to watch that a few years back now, but yeah, really like that show. Question 13. How many Oscars has the cartoon Tom and Jerry won to date? 2 points if you got this exactly right. With its first in 1943, Tom and Jerry have won themselves 7 Oscars, which is incredible given what it actually is. Just a very, simple cartoon, simple concept, 7 Oscar wins. Question 14. Which producer created Room 101? Whose Line Is It Anyway? And Mock the Week? It's a guy called Dan Patterson. I'm telling you now, next time you watch one of those shows, you will see his name in the credits. Right, and your final question, question 15. Name all 6 original members of the Monty Python team. We have 1 point for each. Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Terry Gilliam, Eric Idle, Terry Jones, and Michael Palin. Tally up your scores and let me know how you got on. If you've given yourselves a team name, if you already have a team name we're all familiar with, of course, put that in the comments along with your scores. If you don't have a team name, it's fine, don't worry too much. But I do like to see your scores come in, and we'll celebrate with those who do well and commiserate with those who don't do quite so well. But as I say, remember, we're just here to have a laugh, okay? It's all for fun. Let's see how you do. And whilst we're doing that and those scores are coming in, I'm going to let you know now. For those of you who have listened to or know what Little Quiz is, and Patreons in particular, you'll need to know this as well. Little Quiz Season 5 comes to an end on Tuesday. I've been posting a daily audio clip for 50 days in a row for the 5th time round now, so I'll have done 250 episodes as of Tuesday next week. Okay, and what I'm going to do from then on, until Lima officially launch their new platform, their new app, and promote themselves a lot more than they have been recently, and therefore hopefully gain a lot more users, I'm only going to do Patreon requests for Lima Little Quizzes, and then I'll drop in the occasional music round and the occasional other round on a weekend. I'm no longer, until things change on Lima's platform, because it is, relatively speaking, in app terms, it's brand new. So it's a very small number of people that are using it. So until that changes, I'm just going to do requests for Patreons whenever you want. Every month I'll be asking for your requests, and I'll drop them in as and when. And I'll do the occasional weekend ones and music rounds while I still get them digitally from Dave. And occasionally I'll make my own music rounds for you all as well. But I'm completely moving away from the daily episodes that I have been doing. It does take its toll from me. It's not going to lie. It's a short little thing, 1 to 2 minutes long. But with the production value going up and the engagement staying the same or going down, it's not sustainable anymore, as much as I love it. So I'm hoping to bring it back full time in the future, but that's my decision. I hope you guys can still continue to support it when you see it. But Patreons, you can keep on asking away, and I'll deliver them as and when. No change for Patreons. It's just that I'm not going to do daily episodes anymore. It's not worth it for me now. But I do still love the concept of it, and I believe in it. We just need a bigger audience for it to really, hopefully, kick off a lot more than it has done recently. So let's just see how we go with that approach from now on. Okay, but your feedback is always appreciated. If you've got ideas, even if you're not Patreon, let me know what you think. I'll happily take on board any feedback you have. Okay, let's go into the scores then, and then we'll see how you did. So Nicholas says, let's get quizzical have got themselves 17 points. Becky's got 11 points. Well done. Andy says, I'm definitely going to try to find MASH again. I loved that when I was watching reruns years ago. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, I might have to do that again at some point. Jenny says 17 points for Team Bath. Becky says, proud I got the Bill and Ted one. Good job, sis. Well done. Alison said, GeForce have got themselves 20. Well done to you and to Maddie. Tracy says, managed 15 points on my own. Happy with that. Well done. Andy says 250, quite an achievement, well done. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think I could have done it without the support I've been getting from the likes of you, Andy. Like I said, I love what I do for it, but yeah, every little bit of comments and share and like, and that all kind of drives me to improve it. And the advice you gave me, or the suggestion to do some of my voiceover work and incorporate that into it, and yeah, all that stuff I brought into it, and I love it. But yeah, it just needs to have a bigger audience, or a bigger potential audience from now on, I think. Otherwise, yeah, it's just not as fun. Luke says 12 points for Luke and Jane. Oh, okay. Well done, well done. I'm sure you'll get a team name at some point, but Luke and Jane for now is fine. 18 points for Britzillions. Great score, guys. A shocking 9, Dave says. Oh dear, never mind, mate, never mind. 16 points for Back in Black / Kings and Queens. Yeah, 250 episodes, mate. I know what you meant. Amanda says, I keep forgetting to log into Lima. Do love the list quizzes, though. Just can't remember every day. I know. I think for a lot of people, I should have said this, actually. As lockdowns have eased, and as the world is just adjusting to getting back to what we had before, but with also the way the world has changed, people have just have gradually become busier and busier and getting back to what they think is some kind of normality. And that means you're not, locked in your house all the time. So you do find yourself just as busy as you always were beforehand. If I'd have launched Little Quiz as a concept before this whole COVID-19 lockdown thing happened, I would have struggled, I think, to have found the audience for it as well as I am now struggling. So it kind of makes sense to me that as things are easing again, the engagement's going down and people are just too busy. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm doing this to entertain people. I don't expect it all the time to have a really high amount of engagement. And especially now that people are getting back to the world that they knew before. So it's only natural that could have happened. When Lima then suddenly gets promoted like it should be, when the new platform launches, thousands, potentially millions more people will know what Lima is. And then I've got a whole bigger catchment area to work with. So then it's different. But for now, we'll carry on. Gabby says, sorry, I'm late, all ready for round 2 though. Oh, that's all right. Glad you could be here. No problem. Great scores all around, guys. Well done. Some tricky questions in there. Some older stuff to do with TV and films. So I think you did very well. And if you didn't, now you've learnt a bit as well. Maybe you now know a lot more than you did before. But round number 2 is food and drink. And these kind of rounds we have done before. Multiple point questions. anything food and drink connected goes. And yeah, we'll see how you do. Same rules apply, 15 questions. And so I'm just going to go straight into it. Here we go with question number 1. Which herb do Americans call cilantro? And Amanda, just going back to logging into Lima, remember that when I share it in the Top Fan Facebook group, you can just tap that and it will just open up and play in a browser. You don't have to go into the app. You only have to go into the app if you want to record your voice or just record your answers in the comments, which is fine. You can do that on Facebook and just type your answers in if you wanted to, or just listen to it any other way. But yeah, you don't have to log into the app if you don't want to. Alison says was good, thank you. Okay. All right. Yes, so question 1, which herb do Americans call cilantro? Yes, you can. Yeah. You don't need to be on Lima. You just need to tap the link and it'll open up in the browser. Yep. Okay, question number 2. Which celebrity chef created the triple cooked chip? Which celebrity chef created the triple cooked chip? You know, I assumed, Amanda, that people just realised that. I might not have said it often enough, but the reason I share it in the Top Fan group and on Twitter is so that anybody can just click the link and listen to it. But maybe I never made that. Maybe I never made that particularly obvious. Oh well. I'll point it out when I post tomorrow's one, in case people maybe have forgotten or didn't realise like you. We shall see. Question number 3 is for 4 points. What are the 4 main ingredients of a Waldorf salad? What are the 4 main ingredients in a Waldorf salad? Now, there's typically some kind of mayonnaise dressing involved in it, but there are 4 main ingredients alongside that. Amanda says I realise nothing most of the time. Okay, maybe it's just you then. But I will point it out. I will remind people. Okay, question number 4 now. Question number 4. What is tofu made from? What is tofu made from? Question number 5 is for 2 points. In which Irish cities are the Guinness and Beamish breweries? In which Irish cities are the Guinness and Beamish breweries? One point for each. 2 different cities, for one for Guinness and one for Beamish. Name them for 1 point each. Right, question number 6 now. Question 6. Which fruit is distilled to make grenadine? Which fruit is distilled to make grenadine? Question number 7 now. Question 7. Which famous hot sauce is made by McIlhenny and Co? McIlhenny and Co. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. You know what I do? If I'm not sure on something, I'll put it in the comments. And you guys can work it out. McIlhenny. I think that's it. But yeah, which famous hot sauce is made by that company? Question number 8 is for 4 more points. Which 4 parts of a sheep are used to typically make a haggis? Which 4 parts of a sheep are used to make a haggis? I actually tried some. I had some for my lunch the other day randomly. Just happened to have some in. Don't ask. And I forgot how rich it was, and now I'm reminding myself of how it's made and what's in it. I'm kind of like, maybe I shouldn't have eaten it. It's all right, but I just forgot how rich it was. Don't have too much of it if you do try it. But yeah, which 4 parts of the sheep are used to make your typical haggis? 1 point for each correct part. Question number 9 now. Question 9. What is added to a martini to make it dirty? Why do I not want Martin to answer that question? I don't know why. I just get this feeling that he said something inappropriate. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to know that answer. What is added to a martini to make it dirty? I'm fascinated to know how many of you get this one right. I didn't actually know this one. Yes, put all your laugh emojis in, please. It's not just me laughing to myself. You know I do that often enough. Question number 10 for you now. Question 10 is for 3 points. What does the acronym ABV stand for in the licensed trade? So when you buy something like a beer, it says ABV on it for some reason. What does it actually stand for? 1 point for each correct word. Right, into the last 5 questions for this round then. And there are another 3 points up for grabs for this next question. Which 3 vegetables, for question 11, have varieties called the Carolina Reaper, the Yukon Gold, and the Lolo Rosso? Which 3 vegetables have varieties called Carolina Reaper, Yukon Gold, and Lolo Rosso? As with before, I will put them in the comments so you can see. Oh, without... You know, when you copy and paste something into comments, Facebook likes to try and tag somebody in those words. I very nearly randomly tagged somebody in that I probably didn't want to. Mind you, we've done that kind of thing before on this on the show. Hashtag Tagger Chris. Maybe we should bring that back again. Feel free to. Martin says, I like your comment about the dirty martini. Thought it was just a look, not a comment. Though it was just a look, not a comment. Okay. Yeah, okay, I can imagine then. Dirty martini, eh? Brilliant. I'm sure it would have been fully noticeable were this on the Patreon quiz where we can actually see each other. All right, question number 12 now. Question 12. What would you be drinking if you ordered a Virgin Mary cocktail? What would you be drinking if you ordered a Virgin Mary cocktail? That's just a 1 point question there. What would you be drinking if you ordered a Virgin Mary cocktail? Question number 13. Question 13 for you now. Which fast food franchise has the most outlets in the world? I last asked this question at a quiz. I mean, I've gone back through the archives to dig this round out, and I think this was about 5 years ago. And I checked again, and it hasn't changed. And I'm quite surprised at that. I imagine it might change in the next year or so, maybe. Maybe. But we shall see. But yeah, I was quite surprised that it hadn't changed. Just the numbers have changed, but still the same leader. Excuse me. All right. Question 13 again. Which fast food franchise has the most outlets in the world? I'm not giving you multiple choice for that one, though. Question 14. Which beers were marketed with the slogans 1664, a good year for beer, no nonsense, and it looks good, it tastes good, and by golly, it does you good? 3 different beers, 1 point for each. Which beers were marketed with the slogans 1664, a good year for beer, no nonsense, and it looks good, tastes good, and by golly, it does you good? 1 point for each. All right. Guess the 3 beers for that one. Your last question is worth 2 points. This is actually like brand new. For some of you, it may even be breaking news. It was only announced very recently. For 2 points, which British chocolate brand has recently announced it is going into a consultation period and closing all of its retail stores? And for a 2nd point, who is the parent company? Which British chocolate brand, for question 15, has recently announced it's going into a consultation period, closing all its retail stores, and who is the parent company? Yeah, another high street store that is going to be missing from our high streets going forward. I think they're moving just to go and sell stuff all online, maybe with the same brand. I haven't read that much into it yet, but definitely all their stores are closing. Thanks to COVID-19 and changing of times and things. So for 2 points, name the chocolate brand and the company, the parent company that own it. Okay, let me know if you want any more repeats then. That's the end of the food and drink round. Happy to do repeats as always, and then we will go through the answers, 1 point for each, and we'll see how well you did. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for those, I will share with you once again the link to a charity that I'm associated with. There's the link again in the comments. It's also in the description, which is Secret Santa 365. They're still doing their laptop for learners thing. So if you know anybody that has a laptop or a tablet that could be donated to young people who are struggling, or young families that are struggling and haven't got the money to support or have their own computers for whatever reason, then they have the people who can refurbish them and get them fit to be given to new owners. So if you want to do that, click on that link in your own time and get in touch with them. Alternatively, that is a GoFundMe link, so if you'd rather support what I do here by donating to them instead, you absolutely can do that. Again, all the information is on that link I've just shared with you. So that's Secret Santa 365, largely supporting across Oxfordshire, which is where I'm based, hence why I know them, or one of the reasons why I know them. So yeah, that's that. Anybody like a repeat, let me know. I did go through that one, I think, a little bit slower than the previous round, so maybe you did all right with that one. But let me know. I'll give you another few more seconds to think about some of the answers. Other thing is just to fill time. I should have got one ready, but I didn't. I have still got the last few of my notebooks. If you're currently writing the quiz answers on a scrap of paper and you're thinking, God, this would be so much easier with one of them, you know, notebooks, you can get one from me if you'd like to. They are good quality. If James is watching, I'm sure he'll vouch for it. He's the last person to buy a couple from me, which I'd hand delivered, by the way, if you live in the area. COVID, social distance safely, but hand delivered. Yeah, they are £8 including delivery, and the link to sort that out is also in the description through the link tree. But also you can just message me and we'll sort it out. It's no problem. Whatever's easiest for you. So there's still some of those available. Okay, no repeats have come in. So with that said, I am going to go through the answers. So let's see how well you did in this food and drink round. Question number 1. Which herb do Americans call cilantro? It is coriander. Question 2. Which celebrity chef created the triple cooked chip? That was Heston Blumenthal. Question 3 for 4 points. What are the 4 main ingredients in a Waldorf salad? They are apples, celery, grapes, and walnuts. 1 point for each. Apples, celery, grapes, and walnuts. Question 4. What is tofu made from? It is soy. Coagulated soy milk. Just soy is fine there for the points. Question 5 is for 2 more points. Which Irish cities are the Guinness and Beamish breweries? Dublin for 1 point and Cork for the other. Dublin and Cork for 2 points. Question number 6. Which fruit is distilled to make grenadine? That is pomegranate. Question 7. Which famous hot sauce is made by McIlhenny and Co? It is Tabasco sauce. Question number 8. Which 4 parts of the sheep are used to make haggis? Again, 1 point for each here. Liver, heart, and lungs wrapped in the stomach. Really doesn't sound appetizing when you say it out loud, does it? Question number 9. What is added to a martini to make it dirty? It is olive brine. Yeah, I'd never have guessed that. Question 10. What does the acronym ABV stand for in the licensed trade? It stands for alcohol by volume. So that's for 3 points. Alcohol by volume. 1 point for each that you guessed correctly. Question 11. Which 3 vegetables have varieties called Carolina Reaper, Yukon Gold, and Lolo Rosso? It is chili peppers for the Carolina Reaper. The Yukon Gold is a potato, and the Lolo Rosso is a lettuce. Question 12. What would you be drinking if you ordered a Virgin Mary cocktail? That is tomato juice. Question 13. Which fast food franchise has the most outlets in the world? 41,600 of them are Subways. That is number 1 still. It has been for a few years now. McDonald's was second, and that's 38,696. I checked the numbers again today, so it's very up to date and accurate, assuming the internet is. Question 14. Which beers were marketed with the slogans 1664, a good year for beer? It is Kronenberg, funnily enough. It looks good, tastes good, and by golly, it does you good. That's Mackeson. And the other one was No Nonsense. That's John Smith's. Question 15, the final question. Which British chocolate brand has recently announced it's going into a consultation period, closing all its retail stores? And who is the parent company? Thornton's. Closing all their stores. You'll no longer be able to walk into a Thornton's or buy anything from them in store anymore. They are owned by Ferrero, as in those of Ferrero Rocher fame. So 1 point for Thornton's, and then a second point if you got Ferrero, or the full company name right, but Ferrero is enough for the points there. So, tally up your scores. Let's see how well you did in round number 2, our food and drink round. And then we're going to move on to our music trivia round. Whilst you do that, if you missed the announcement at the start about the music trivia round, it's a themed music trivia round, okay? So it's not just general knowledge on songs and chart music. It is place names in songs. That's the theme of the round. So all of it is going to be connected to place names in songs, basically. So there's a common theme running throughout it. But to keep it simple up there, I just put music trivia. So same thing, just with a theme. 26 points for Let's Get Quizzical. Cracking score. Well done, Nicola and Martin. Tracy says better than I thought. 20. Again, very good score, as you're on your own as well. Good job. Let's see who else we've got coming in. 17 for us. Well done to Dave and is it Dave and Teresa? 18 for Team Bath. Good effort again. Another good score. You guys know more about your food and drink. Good scores. 20 points for me and James. Well done, Becky. Good job. Andy says a second 16 of the night for Back in Black, Kings and Queens, etc., etc. 17 for us. Jory is still out on a team name here. Luke, it's been long enough. Come on. That's fine. Take your time. Make sure it's the right team name for you. We had the same thing with Tracy with just the two of us. So yeah, you can't have that one if there is only two of you taking part in your team. 25 points for Gabby. Excellent score. Well done. Alison says 23 for G-Force. Love haggis and black pud. Wow. That's, yeah, see, I don't mind haggis. I like black pudding. That's, yeah, it's going to be a pretty rich dinner though, isn't it, if they're all together. Man. But yeah, I do like both of those things. 22 for the Bonkers Brit Zillions. 22 points. Another good score. Might have to do another one of these rounds soon if you guys are that good on your food and drink trivia. Excellent stuff. Any more for any more before we move on to that third and final round? If there is, let me know now. I need to grab myself another beer. So I will do that before we start next round. Yes, another couple of comments coming in. Let me just grab a drink. Got to get the priorities right. There we go. All right, so with that done, we are ready to move on to the next round. Ju says, what a surprise, I did well with food-related questions. Excellent, okay. Well, let's see how well you do with this one. We haven't done any kind of music trivia for a while for regulars amongst us. I don't think we have anyway, and certainly not with a theme to it. So, place names in songs is the theme. 15 questions again for this final round of the evening. Remember that there will be a pitch around posted after this. That pitch around will have, I think it's another 15 questions again, and you can just do that in your own time, but the answers will be posted in the comments later on this evening. And there is a music round that I posted as well. Top fans can find it in the Top Fan Facebook group, or you can go to my Twitter @BigQuizNightIn and find the link to it there. As I mentioned about Lima before, you just tap the link and you can listen to it even if you don't have the app. So, let's make a start, shall we? Question number 1 in our third round of the evening, our final round of the show. Which singer claimed to be an Englishman in New York? Which singer claimed to be an Englishman in New York? That's question number 1. Okay. Question number 2. Which city did Katy Perry wake up in according to her 2009 chart topper? Which city did Katy Perry wake up in according to her 2009 chart topper? Question 3 is for 3 points now. 3 points for question 3. Which 3 islands were UK hits for Madonna, Wings, and the Beach Boys? Which 3 islands were UK hits for Madonna, for Wings, and for the Beach Boys? Next question is just for the 1 point. So question number 4 now. According to Barry Manilow, the Copacabana nightclub was north of which city? According to Barry Manilow, the Copacabana nightclub was north of which city? Okay, question number 5 now. Question 5. Which city gave David Gray his first UK hit single? Which city gave David Gray his first UK hit single? Question number 6 is for 3 more points. What's Tracy saying first? Oh no, going to be singing Copacabana all night now. Yeah, I've already had it going around in my head the moment I read the question before I said it out loud. Brilliant. But maybe that'll help you get the answer if you can remember the words. Okay. Question number 6 for 3 points. Which cities that all begin with the letter B, that's B for Bravo, were immortalised in song by George Ezra, Freddie Mercury, and Simple Minds? So 1 point for each. 3 different cities, all beginning with B, were immortalised in song by George Ezra, Freddie Mercury, and Simple Minds. Oh yes, Tracy and Martin are in agreement with you. We're all going to be singing it now. Okay, question number 7 now. Question number 7. Whereabouts were Frank Sinatra's vagabond shoes longing to stray? Whereabouts were Frank Sinatra's vagabond shoes longing to stray? One of my favourite karaoke songs, that. If that's a clue for anybody, I don't know. Whereabouts were Frank Sinatra's vagabond shoes longing to stray? Question number 8. Which American city did Will Smith take into the UK charts? Which American city did Will Smith take into the UK charts? Used to love his music. Love his music. Okay. Going to move on then. Question number 9 is for 3 more points. Which 3 towns were British hit singles for UB40, Roger Whittaker, and Suggs? Which 3 towns were British hit singles for UB40, Roger Whittaker, and Suggs? Okay, question number 10. Just the 1 pointer for question number 10. Which American city won Bruce Springsteen an Oscar? Which American city won Bruce Springsteen an Oscar? Name the city, please. You don't have to name the specific song, but the city for 1 point. Okay, question number 11. Question 11. Which city did Paloma Faith take into the UK charts in 2009? Which city did Paloma Faith take into the UK charts in 2009? Your next question is for 3 points. Question 12 for 3 points. Which streets were UK hits for the Nashville Teens, Duffy, and Green Day? Which streets were UK hits for the Nashville Teens, Duffy, and Green Day? 1 point for each. Okay, your next question. Question 13. The hit song called One Night in Bangkok came from which West End musical? The hit song called One Night in Bangkok came from which West End musical? Not seen this one myself. Know a few songs from it, but not that familiar with it. Don't know if that helps anybody. Probably not. Okay. Question number 14. Which American states were hit singles for Leonard Skinner, Katy Perry, and Shaggy? 3 points again. You just need to name the states. You don't need to necessarily name the whole song title. But which American states were hit singles for Leonard Skinner, Katy Perry, and Shaggy? That's for 3 points. Your final question will also be for 3 points. I'll give you a moment to think about that one though. And prepare to say in the comments which ones you would like repeated. And I'll do those for you, of course. Okay, let's move on then to the final question. Question 15, the last question of the evening, or at least from the live show. Question 15, which areas of London were a UK hit for the Fratellis, Jerry Rafferty, and the Pet Shop Boys? Which areas of London were a UK hit for the Fratellis for 1 point, for Jerry Rafferty for a 2nd point, and for the Pet Shop Boys for a 3rd point? Let me know now what repeats you would like. Ed's already asked for question 10. Question 10 was which American city won Bruce Springsteen an Oscar? Which American city won Bruce Springsteen an Oscar? That is question number 10. All right. Any more repeats? All of them you go too quick, Maddie says. All right, well, here's some more repeats for you anyway. Question 3 for 3 points were, which 3 islands were UK hits for Madonna, Wings, and the Beach Boys? Which 3 islands were UK hits for Madonna, Wings, and the Beach Boys? I'll go through, whilst I give you a bit more thinking time, I'll read out the multiple point questions again for you. Question number 6 was for 3 points. Which cities, beginning with B, were immortalised in song by George Ezra, Freddie Mercury, and Simple Minds? 3 different cities, all beginning with B, for George Ezra, Freddie Mercury, and Simple Minds. Number 9 was, Jenny's asked number 9. That was the next one I was going to say. So question number 9 again for 3 points. Which 3 towns were a British hit single for UB40, Roger Whittaker, and Suggs? And let's go to the next multiple point one was number 12. So for question 12, which streets were UK hits for the Nashville Teens, for Duffy, and for Green Day? Question 14 was which American states were hit singles for Leonard Skinner, Katy Perry, and Shaggy? So just guess 3 American states if you're not sure on those. Okay, and question 15 again was, which areas of London were a UK hit for the Fratellis, Jerry Rafferty, and the Pet Shop Boys? 3 different areas of London there. Again, you just need to name the areas of London. You don't need a specific song title. Feel free to ask for any more requests. I will give you a little bit more time because you're right, I went through that one pretty quick. Which is always the risk when the chat goes so quiet because you're all listening to what I say. Tend to go through them a bit quicker. Whilst you think about that, I will let you know some other random stuff. For those of you who have or might be interested in buying merch, there is a big sale coming up on the 23rd of March to the 26th of March. I've just been made aware today that's the next sale. There will be 20% off of everything in my merch store. So if you want any kind of t-shirts or hoodies or anything, there's hundreds of different things you can get now. The link again through the link tree in the description, that'll take you through. There's one for the merch store, and in there you can buy, there's 4 different designs, but just wait until the 23rd of March till the 26th, because then you get 20% off anything you buy. So that's that I can tell you about. Bit of an early warning for you there, which is nice. I don't normally get early warnings like that. And 20% is the biggest discount I've ever been able to unlock in my store. So that's thanks to what I've sold so far. They don't mind doing the occasional bigger discount for people now. So thank you for that. It's all helping. Every little bit helps. Right. Let's go through the answers, I think. I could repeat a couple more, but no more comments have come in. So I'm going to go through the answers. We'll see how well you did. Question number 1, which singer claimed to be an Englishman in New York? That was Sting. Question 2, which city did Katy Perry wake up in according to her 2009 chart topper? It was Las Vegas. The song was called Waking Up in Vegas or Waking in Vegas. Question 3, which 3 islands were UK hits for Madonna, for Wings and the Beach Boys? Madonna had a hit with La Isla Bonita. The Wings one was Mull of Kintyre, and Beach Boys was Kokomo. Question 4, according to Barry Manilow, the Copacabana nightclub was north of which city? You just got the song out of your head, hadn't you? Now it's back. It was Havana. The Copacabana nightclub north of Havana. Question 5, which city did David Gray have his first UK hit single about? It was Babylon. Babylon was the city. Question 6, which cities beginning with B were immortalised in song by George Ezra, Freddie Mercury and Simple Minds? It was Budapest for George Ezra. For Freddie Mercury it was Barcelona. And for Simple Minds it was Belfast in the song Belfast Child. Question 7, whereabouts were Frank Sinatra's vagabond shoes longing to stray? It is New York, New York. I mean, you only had to put New York once, but that was the song. Question 8, which American city did Will Smith take into the UK charts? He was going to Miami. Miami was the answer. Question 9 for 3 points. Which 3 towns were a British hit single for UB40, Roger Whittaker and Suggs? UB40 had a hit with Kingston Town, Roger Whittaker with Durham Town, and Suggs had a hit with Camden Town. Question 10, which American city won Bruce Springsteen an Oscar? It was Philadelphia. The song was called Streets of Philadelphia. The movie was Philadelphia. And therefore that was the answer as well. Question 11, which city did Paloma Faith take into the UK charts in 2009? That was New York. Question 12, which streets were UK hits for the Nashville Teens? For Duffy and for Green Day, Nashville Teens had a UK hit with Tobacco Road. Duffy had a hit with Warwick Avenue. And Green Day had a hit with Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which is off their American Idiot album, one of my favourite albums. Brilliant. Never did they ever get as good as they did in that album. It's all been downhill from there, unfortunately. Love them, but yeah, That was their best. Question 13. The hit song called One Night in Bangkok came from which West End musical? It was from Chess. One Night in Bangkok is the song from Chess. Question 14. Which American states were hit singles for Lynyrd Skynyrd, Katy Perry and Shaggy? Lynyrd Skynyrd's was Sweet Home Alabama. Brilliant song, legendary song. Katy Perry had a hit with California Girls, so California. And then Shaggy had a hit called Oh Carolina. So for 3 points, the answers were Alabama, California, and Carolina. And finally, question 15. Which areas of London were a UK hit for the Fratellis, for Jerry Rafferty, and the Pet Shop Boys? It was Chelsea Dagger for the Fratellis, Baker Street for Jerry Rafferty, and the Pet Shop Boys had a hit with West End Girls. West End. There we go. Tally up your scores. Let's see how well you did in the last round of the evening. Do go check out the picture round when that's posted, which will be, I don't know, before 9:30. Should be in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so, really, once we've all said our goodbyes here. And then the music round as well. If you're unsure of where any of those are, you can always message the Big Quiz Nighting page or me directly if we are in contact in that way, no problem. And do engage with the picture round. Do give it a like when it's posted. If you give it a like or any kind of emoji reaction, when I post the answers in the comments, you'll get a notification to say that I've done that, and then you can come back to it and see how well you think you did, or see how well you actually did with that round. Same goes for anything else I post. If you're waiting for me to post the answers, you'll get a notification if you like that post first. Then Facebook knows to tell you when something else has happened in it. Okay? So, yes, don't be shy, please. Let me know your scores then. Let's see how well you did in that last round. Nicholas says 23 for Let's Get Quizzical. Martin was terribly helpful. Wasn't terribly helpful. Oh, okay. Oh, dear. That's still a good score. 23 points. 20 again. Enjoyed those rounds, Chris. Chris, thanks as always. Yeah, no worries. Same time next week. One more week this month, and then it's a Patreon quiz after that. So, but yeah, we've got one more week of Facebook Live quizzes. Kings and whatever. 21 points, Andy says. Better than 16. Yeah, good score. Alison says, thank you so much. Lovely to catch you on a Tuesday. Been at work for the last few times. Well, it's lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining. It's really appreciated. And I'm glad you enjoyed your evening. Roz says 25 for me. Finally, a round I can do by myself. Only 14 on this round, says Gabby. Much better at food and drink. I'm not surprised. If you're not teaming up with Roz, you've got no chance, I guess. But that's a good effort, let's be honest. 14 points on your own is great. 19 for Luke and Jane. Well done. Alison says 19 points. For GeForce, so that's great. 20 for Brazilians. Nicholas says, thanks, Chris. Great rounds tonight. See you all next time. Yeah, next week. Thanks again. Amused Alison and I are still awake after our almost 2-hour walk today. Goodness me. Well, good on you for doing it. Well done. 20 for us, says Dave. Thanks, Chris. You're welcome. Keep those final scores coming in, guys. Thank you all for joining in. We will do one more next week. Picture round's coming up very soon. Music round is up, as I've said. It's a guitar solos music round. It's seriously cool. So give it a listen. And if you can't find it, drop me a message and I'll show you where to go for it. Luke says, thanks, Chris. Great quiz. Great quiz again. Thanks, Chris. You're welcome, Jenny and Team Bath. Thank you again for joining. So, yeah, keep those comments coming in. I'll react to them after the show's finished, after I've posted the picture round, which will be any minute now. Do take care of yourselves. It's been fun again, and I hope we can do this all again at the same time next week. So do take care of yourselves, and I will see you then. Cheers. Good night.